Why is the administration flying thousands of migrants from the border in the middle of the night?
Here we are talking about early flights, earlier than you might like to take a flight. It's no surprise that kids can be seen traveling through states, not just New York. It's something that we're also working to unite children with their family members or vetted sponsors.
More snarkiness and arrogance from White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Fox News' Peter Doocy's question about these secret flights. The administration was caught again trying to quietly fly migrants across the country. You heard it here first that they are taking migrants from the Texas border and flying them to private airports, private jets. And by the way, let me just point out that those flights are being paid for by taxpayers. This is taxpayer money. Paying this money to fly migrants all over the country. And we know now from pictures that the New York Post published yesterday that one of those airports is in Westchester. Congressman John Katko is here. He is a ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much. Is there anything you can do about this?
Well, unfortunately, Maria, this has been happening for quite a while now. Every time there's a surge at the border, this is what they do to disseminate folks throughout the country to release the pressure at the border. They're not, there's no vetting going on, and they're not working with the locals, that's for sure. And this is just one time when they, quote unquote, got caught doing it, but they're doing it all over the country. And you were down at Del Rio yourself. You saw firsthand that the border is a mess. And there's really no plan other than to disseminate people into the interior of the country. So basically every state's a border state now, and every city's a border city, because this is how they're relieving the pressure. They're letting all these illegals come in, and then they're throwing them on planes as quickly and quietly as possible to get them out of the area so it doesn't look so bad for the optics.
So, I mean, why do it in the middle of the night? Jen Psaki's over there saying, well, it's earlier than you would like to take a flight. It's 3 in the morning. And, it's the dead of night. And by the way, the airports, the private airports, have rules. You're not supposed to have landings after midnight. So clearly they're doing it so that people don't notice. Why? If this is what they want to do, why not just be honest about it?
Well, but think about it, Maria. If they weren't concerned about the optics and they weren't concerned about the legality of what they were doing, they would just work with local officials and say, hey, we have a flight coming in at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and you guys can be there to greet them, and we can have a nice welcoming for them. No, they're doing the exact opposite. They're doing it as surreptitiously as possible. And that just kind of, I think, is emblematic of the fact that they don't have a plan, and they know what they're doing is not right.
So President Biden's new pick to lead Customs and Border Protection, Chris Magnus, faced the Senate yesterday. He refused to use a certain word when describing the situation on the border. He won't say it. Watch this.
You believe we have a crisis at the southern border, yes or no?
Does it really matter whether we call it a major challenge, a crisis, a big problem? No one believes there is greater urgency to this matter than I do.
So, Congressman, your thoughts? I mean, he might say that the issue is urgent, but when asked about his plan to fix it, he did not have a solution. Your reaction?
Well, listen, he's towing the company line, and the company line is that we're going to have open borders, and we're going to deflect and conceal the fact that we have open borders. And that's exactly what he's doing. And his answer is completely ignored what all of his frontline employees, the 18,000 people who work for him, are saying. You talked to him down there, Maria. I've talked to him down there many times. I'm going again, and they all say it's all the same. We need more. We need to go back to the policies we had. These aren't working. Period. And he's just towing the company line, and it's disgraceful.
Right. It comes from Joe Biden. I've been to the border now 3 times, and it's gotten progressively worse every time I was there. But I guess, Congressman, what we want to understand is what can the Republicans do about it? For example, you and your colleagues were faced with the opportunity to vote for an infrastructure package, and we're going to have a potential vote on the infrastructure package sooner rather than later. And, how does a Republican vote for an infrastructure package when there's not a penny in there for border control? There's not a penny in there for Homeland Security. There's not a penny in there for any infrastructure whatsoever about the wall in terms of, dealing with this problem. In fact, Joe Biden canceled all contracts for the remaining border wall construction in the Del Rio area. What can you do about it? Is there anything that Republicans can actually show some strength on this issue rather than just talking about it?
Well, listen, we don't control the House, we don't control the Senate, and we don't control the presidency, and that's job one, is to change that dynamic. I have a bill that's already ready to go out of Homeland Security that will change the border protection completely back to what it was. Finish building the barriers that are so unbelievably effective, increase electronic surveillance all along the border, and beef up Border Patrol agents significantly. Those three things, and going back to the policies we had, are what's going to make this, the only thing that's going to make this thing change. And we can't force that change until we get control of the House again. So next year's election is very, very important. And I think we're going to take over the House, and I think we have a decent shot at taking over the Senate, and then we can get back to these policies and force real change. And I think that's what we're working on. And until then, we got to keep exposing this for what it is. It's a lie to say it's not a crisis, and it's completely ignoring what's happening to our country, what's happening at the border. Drugs are pouring across our border and killing our kids all over the country, and that's just a fact, and we've got to fix it.
Yeah, Congressman, thanks very much. We will keep following it all. Thanks for joining me today, Congressman John Katko, joining us in Washington.